Welcome to Watch Stay Awake, the channel in which we discuss all things Jehovah's Witnesses. Let's begin. For over a century now, Watchtower Bible and Tract Society has proclaimed that they are part of the 144,000 that the book of Revelation speaks about. In the book of Revelation, chapter 7, starting at verse 4, it says, "And I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 sealed out of every tribe of the sons of Israel." Then from verse 5 through 8, it actually lists all the tribes that it was referring to. Now, mind you, this is John's vision, but that's not good enough for Watchtower. Watchtower doesn't want to agree with that. Why? Because it doesn't fit their narrative. Listen to what this one governing body member stated.
Revelation 14. 144,000 will be on Mount Zion with the Lamb. There were nowhere near 144,000 in the truth in the first century. And here Jehovah is saying there are going to be 144,000 in heaven with the Lamb at the end.
What blows me about what he just said is the fact that he really believes that. Like, they have convinced themselves that they are God's people. They've told Jehovah's Witnesses that you are God's chosen people on the earth, you and you alone. So therefore, that makes the governing body, along with quote-unquote other faithful anointed Jehovah's Witnesses, part of the 144,000. So never mind the fact that I just read from their translation of the Bible, mind you, that was the New World's translation, where it said, and we saw with our own eyes, that this 12 tribes of Israel, these 12 sons of Israel, these groups of people, 12,000 in each group, clearly that is what the number of 144,000 are comprised of. They want you to just disregard that because they're trying to say there's no way humanly possible there could ever be, out of the millions, perhaps billions of people on the planet during that time period, there's no way that God could have selected 144,000 people. Like, come on, this is ridiculous. And to add to the ridiculousness, Watchtower has gone so far as to refer to themselves as, here we go, drum roll, spiritual Israel.
The remaining ones on earth of the 144,000 have been finally sealed for their heavenly reward. Verses 4 to 8 go on to give us assurance that the full number of spiritual Israel will be sealed.
Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 16. Speaking about Gog of Magog, the prophecy states, "Like clouds covering the land, you will come against my people Israel." Now, as our publications have long explained, Israel here refers to spiritual Israel. So indeed, the remnant of spiritual Israel, including the brothers on the governing body at that time, will be with us when this coalition attacks us.
Isaiah 60, let's begin. Verse 1. Arise, O woman, arise, O woman, shed light, for your light has come. The glory of Jehovah shines on you. In the modern day fulfillment, the heavenly woman is represented on earth by the anointed remnant. What's their role? Well, Jehovah says, the glory of Jehovah shines on you. What a unique responsibility and privilege. Jehovah is using the anointed remnant as a source of enlightenment. And since the pivotal year of 1919, think deeply about what Jehovah is accomplishing by means of spiritual Israel. What has he been doing? Well, let's read verse 3. Nations will go to your light, and kings to your shining splendor. And come the nations did come. Think about individuals all over the planet that have been attracted to the truth. They've been attracted to the truth because the anointed remnant has helped them to understand the issues such as, and doctrines such as, the Messianic kingdom, the issue of sovereignty, the ransom, God's name. All over the planet, nations come and are attracted to the truth.
Proselytes, Samaritans, and Gentiles had been brought into the Christian congregation as God's people, the spiritual Israel of God.
You might ask, well, then, does Watchtower believe that the 144,000 is actually a literal number?
Please think about Revelation 14. If the devil could make the number one short of 144,000, he'd be happy, because he would show that Jehovah was inaccurate in what he foretold. And so that's one of the reasons why the devil has made war on the remnant of the seed of the woman, if at all possible, to prevent that number of 144,000 from coming to pass. But of course, he's going to fail.
So yes, Watchtower does believe that the 144,000 is a literal number. But here's where they get messed up. Because Watchtower includes the governing body along with quote-unquote faithful anointed Jehovah's Witnesses into the number of 144,000, this has created a huge nuance. You see, more than 144,000 annually profess that they are part of this crowd, and actually the number keeps increasing every year. So they try to explain some of it this way to make it make sense.
And usually we of the other sheep know who partakes of the emblems, because after all, in our congregation, we see the emblems being passed, and we can see individuals partaking, in a sense, telling us that, yes, they have the heavenly calling. We see it at the memorial. And I might also add at this point, even though we don't know about that personal relationship that comes about, we don't experience it ourselves, but we are convinced, for example, that the members of the governing body have the heavenly calling. After all, Jehovah has blessed them. They've fulfilled Bible prophecy about the faithful and discreet slave. There are certain things that we acquire knowledge about and we're convinced of. We see Jehovah's favor on them. We have no doubt that Jehovah's blessing is upon their efforts to take care of the domestics and provide spiritual food for all of us. But there's something we don't know. We have nothing to do with the final sealing. That is a personal thing that takes place between the individual and Jehovah God. And as the comments on the text state, it takes place sometime before the Anointed One dies faithful or before the outbreak of the Great Tribulation. That's what we're told, and that's what we understand.
Check out this flip-flop by one of the governing body members who seems to know but not know who is of the anointed.
Would you like an easy way to keep the generations straight? An easy way is to consider the situation of Brother Fred W. Franz. Now, you'll see that he's FWF on the chart. Now, as we said before, Brother Franz was born in 1893. He was baptized in November of 1913. So, as one of the Lord's anointed in 1914, he saw the sign and he understood what the sign meant. Now, Brother Franz lived a long life. He finished his earthly course at 99 years of age in 1992. Now, do you know of many who were of the anointed in 1914 and who outlived Brother Franz? There may have been some, but not many. Now, just for the sake of argument, suppose that we assume that Brother Franz was the last of that first group of anointed ones. That is, the group of anointed ones who were anointed in 1914, who saw the sign, and then continued serving faithfully. Now, we're not saying Brother Franz was. We just don't know. But for the sake of argument, let's suppose.
You guys just catch the switch up? First he says, okay, this man is part of the anointed. They show his picture and come up with a complete chart with dates on it. But then at the very end it says, well, we're just not sure. Like, are you serious? Just like Watchtower jammed themselves up by trying to claim that they are a part of the 144,000, they also got themselves into a pickle by trying to explain what Jesus said in Matthew when he was referring to this generation. But that's a whole nother video. Here's a great critical thinking question for Watchtower. Why on earth in Revelation 7:4-9, which we just read earlier, why on earth was this angel provided with this message to give to John And why was John inspired to write these words? And why on earth was it recorded and preserved for us to be able to read it today if that wasn't even what it was supposed to say? Like, if it meant spiritual Israel, why didn't it just say that? Why on earth would John list all these different tribes and the thousands that come from each tribe if that wasn't even the case? Like, let's make this make sense. I do need to address something that we saw earlier. I'm going to be honest. I feel so sorry for this guy. I mean, and honestly, I feel sorry for a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses that have fallen prey to this lie imposed by Watchtower. I mean, for them to go as far as saying that they're part of the 144,000 when they know they're not, I mean, it just makes no sense. And not only that, I mean, they're not even anointed. Like, that's it's crazy. I mean, they literally said in their own publication, and I cannot say this enough, they are not even inspired. So if they're not even inspired, why in the world is anybody even listening to anything these people have to say? Like, it is so just egregious. I just feel like they're just straight up just being liars. Like, I wish there was some type of way to sue them just for just the lies and the corruption. But nevertheless, I feel like I'm going on a tangent. But anyway, I just wanted to share that information with you, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. But I hope the video I presented does answer some questions about the 144,000 and who they really are and who they really are not. And I will say that the governing body is not part of the 144,000. I mean, think about it. Does it make sense that they never have any Bible prophecy correct? They never are able to interpret scripture correctly. Like, they're constantly making changes and they have so many mistakes and errors in judgment, but yet God is using them. Like, come on, let's make this make sense. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day.